No, I don't want that.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave this.
All right. So make a motion to accept the agenda for Scituate Board of Health meeting Monday, February 26, 2024, 6 p.m. Zoom meeting.
I'll second and say yes.
Okay, Allison?
Yes. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
and
I
Doug
didn't look in
says
the
yes.
screen.
All right. So starting off, discuss vote tobacco control officer Kathleen Mahoney, South Shore Tobacco Colorate, request to be added agent of the board. So,
Hi, Kathleen, you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
got you.
can.
It won't let me start my video.
Well, that's okay.
It says,
So
okay.
this is Drew, Kathleen. So Kathleen's being hired through our Public Health Excellence Grant for tobacco control. So I'm gonna let Allison just give a quick summary, and then you guys can, if you'd like to appoint her as an agent of the board, because she can go out and do inspections and cite fines.
Correct.
So he has to be an agent of
There I
the
am.
board. So take it away, Kathleen.
Yes.
Did I summarize it pretty well?
Yeah, you did a great job. Yeah. So I need to be appointed so I can go in and do first educational inspections. So I educate your merchants or your tobacco permit holders on what is expected in the law of Massachusetts and your regulations. And then after that, and I do warn them and let them know that I'll be out there doing compliance checks. So after that, I'll do compliance checks on all your retailers. So I just need you guys to be okay with that and approve it. So
Where do you currently do it now?
let me see. I do it in Hanover. I have 8 towns: Hanover, Rockland, Pembroke, Norwell, Halifax, Hingham. God, am I forgetting? I just got appointed to Cohasset. Yeah, so I have 10 all together. I've been doing this for 5 years now.
What's the frequency with which you visit how often do you visit the retailers? That's gonna be a lot of retailers with the 10 towns. So how is it, like a once a year thing, or?
It's at least once a year. So when it's funded, my 8 towns are funded. So I do it once a year, and I do with Cohasset and Scituate once a year. But if I find something that there's a violation, I'll go back in there again and check again. And then I do compliance checks. So with you guys, I would do at least once a year. And again, yeah, it is a lot, but Scituate and Cohasset are a little bit small than my other communities. And I'll be doing it on weekends and nights. So it's once a year, violation, go again, compliance checks once. And what I also tell them, which is very, I think, important to them, is it's not just me out here, FDA's out here, Department of Revenue's out here. So I let them know, hey, this is what you need to do to be in compliance, because we're not about punishment, we're about education and letting them know what's going on. And then from there, after that, if they decide to break the law, then I bring you guys in and let you know what's going on.
Okay. And I know that in the past, the Scituate police have done some also. So that still would be happening too, right?
Yep, they can still do this, correct.
Okay. All right.
Well,
I have no further questions. If
I have a
Karen,
yeah, I
So
don't need.
I have a question. So do
Yep.
you let us know, do you report to us like what your results were? Or?
Yes. So
Okay.
what would happen is I'll go out and do like my educational inspections, or I call Board of Health inspections, let them know what's going on.
Mhm.
Once I go out and do compliance checks, I let you guys know right away, like within 24 hours, this is what happened. This who were not in compliance or sold to my underage person. So, and then you guys have to send out a letter. Like
Right.
right now, it's a Massachusetts law. So, like you guys have to comply with that. I think
Right.
it makes it easier for Board of Health because you're like, all right, well, sale to a minor, first offense, $1,000, and then whatever your regulation says for, it has to be up to 30 days suspension for a person to a sale to a person under 21. I'd have to look at your regulations again and see what you guys have, but that's something that we can also further discuss, as far as putting in your regulations as far as a suspension for a person under 21. But yeah, I would let you guys know right away. You guys send out the letter and you guys decide on the suspension.
Yeah, because we usually bring those to the board. In the past, we've brought them to the board, so.
Yeah, it would go to you guys. Yep.
Well,
Okay.
Allison, unless you have a question, I'm happy to make a motion to accept Kathleen Mahoney as an agent to the Board of Health.
I second that.
And Doug, I'll say third. So Karen, you vote yes.
Yeah.
Allison, yes.
Yes.
And Doug vote yes. So welcome aboard.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I look forward to working with you guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
Kathleen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, email me if you have any questions, concerns, whatnot. I'm always available.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Next is vote 74 Glades, Morrison Engineering, representing home request for installation of septic system requiring local upgrades and variants.
Yes, this is Greg Morse. How are you?
Good. Hey, Greg, how are you?
Good. As was just stated, this is a septic system project at 74 Glades Road. The property is a single-family home. It's one of the homes that was destroyed by fire last April. The house that was there was a 7-bedroom house at the time that the fire took place. We've gone to the Zoning Board and Conservation Commission and received approval to put a new home generally in the same location. That new home is a little bit smaller in bedroom count. It's a 5-bedroom home. How we've sited the system, we've sited a new septic tank and leaching chambers under the house itself. The new house is elevated up on wooden piles because of the FEMA floodplain, the entire site being in the FEMA floodplain. Very minimal change in grade on the site. So we are seeking one local upgrade approval, and that is the setback from 10 feet is the requirement. We're asking for a setback of 9 feet from the septic system to the property line. That is a property line where the abutter is the same as the applicant for this project. He owns both abutting properties in this case. I'll turn it over to you.
I just want to let everybody know that we have the butter cards for all of these today. So I just want to make a note of that.
Okay. All right. Anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I think I sent you all a copy of the plan, right? You all got that?
Yeah.
Okay, yep. And
So
we have
Greg,
no,
can I just
we have
ask
no
one-
problem with it. I mean, they're tight spaces down there and this is only upgrading what they had, so. We're okay with
Okay.
it.
Greg,
Yes.
so it was a 7-bedroom house, so by right, they could go 7 bedrooms, but they're going 5?
So yeah, this property is unique in the fact that there's actually 2 houses on this property. There's number 74 and there's number 74C. Okay. And so 74 was a 7-bedroom house. 74C used to be a single-bedroom house. So it was a total of 8 bedrooms at the property. With the rebuild, we've dropped the bedroom count in number 74 from 7 down to 5. And we've increased the bedrooms in 74C, which is on your agenda for, I think, 1 or 2 hearings down. We've gone from 1 bedroom to 3 bedrooms in that house. So the net on the site, it's a net of 0.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure where everything was going. I'm glad you added it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, it's a net of 0, but yeah, there are 2 houses on this property, both getting new septic systems.
Okay. Karen, you want to make a motion?
Yeah. So I'll make a motion to approve the septic repair plan for 74 Glades Road with the following upgrades requested. And it's just one, their request of reduction from required 10 feet from the property line to the leaching field to 9 feet.
Okay.
I
Before
second,
we take a vote on that, Doug, do you want to just see if there's anybody in the audience that has any comments or anything?
Oh, sure.
Just so that. Does anyone
Yeah,
have anybody who's on the
The
Zoom?
room.
Because we have a lot of people on here. Anybody have any comments or questions on what's going
Glades
on?
Road.
Okay,
Okay. All right. So
Nice.
Allison,
yep, take the
how
vote.
do you vote, Allison?
I approve.
Okay. And I approve. So that's a yes on 74 Glades.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Discuss and vote 74B Glades Road, Morse Engineering representing the home request for installation of a septic system requiring local upgrades and variants.
Again, for the record, Gregory Morse, registered engineer. The property owner near Drury, 74B Glades Road, again, is a home that was destroyed by fire this past April. We've been in front of the Zoning Board and Conservation Commission and received approval to rebuild a new home in its place. The home that was there was a 4-bedroom home. The home going back is a 4-bedroom home. What we've proposed for a septic system is a septic tank and leaching chambers under the house. This house is located up on piles due to the floodplain in the area. It requires 2 local upgrade approvals. The setback from the soil absorption system to the property line of 5.2 feet, where 10 feet is typically required. And then the setback from the septic tank to the property line proposed at 6.5 feet, where 10 feet is typically required. The property line in question is the right-of-way or the walkway, essentially, from Glades Road out to Minot Beach. I turn it over to you for questions or comments.
I'm fine with that. Karen, if you have anyone have any questions? If not, if you want to make a motion.
Sure, they did notice one thing that was different on the variance request though, and it said that the setback, Greg, that you mentioned from 10 feet to 6.5 was from a private water supply line.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, that's what we have on the plan, Greg.
Private water supply. Hold on just 1 minute. Let me look at the plan here. I apologize. I did misspeak. The plan is correct. The second local upgrade approval is for the septic tank to the private water supply line is 6.5 feet versus 10 feet. It was not the septic tank to the lot line as I said it was. It's the septic tank to the private water supply line.
Okay. All right, I think I'm okay with this too. I'm just gonna move to approve the septic repair plan for 74B Glades Road with 2 upgrades requested. The first is the reduction from the required 10 feet from the property line to the leaching field down to 5.2 feet. And then the request for reduction from the required 10 feet from the septic line to the private water supply line to 6.5 feet.
Allison, how do you vote?
I approve.
And Doug approves. So that one seems to be fine for 74B. Next one is discuss and vote 74C Glades Road, Morse Engineering, representing home request for installation of septic system requiring local upgrades and variances.
Thank you again, Greg Morse, representing near Drury, the property owner at 74C Glades Road. This was the 3rd home out there that was destroyed by fire this past April. This is on the same property as number 74. So there were 2 houses on this property. This system will service 74C by itself. 74C was a 1-bedroom house. It is going to a 3-bedroom house. However, on the site, it is a net increase of 0 bedrooms. As I stated earlier, we're reducing the number of bedrooms in number 74. The system is a new septic tank under the house. The house is elevated up on piles. The leaching field for this is underneath a gravel driveway on the property, so it's not under the dwelling in this case. But it does require a local upgrade approval. That is the setback from the septic system to the property line. 10 feet is required. The property line setback we're proposing is 6.2 feet.
Any questions? Okay, Karen, if you want to.
Yep, so I'll make a motion to approve the request for variances for 74C Glades Road. And that includes the reduction from the required 10 feet from the property line to the leaching field down to 6.2 feet.
Allison? How
She's
do you
muted.
vote? Muted.
You're muted, Allison.
Still muted.
Still muted.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
I approve. Second that.
Okay. And Doug, I approve. So that one is all set for 74C. Next one is discuss and vote 76 Glades Road, Morse Engineering representing homeowner request for installation of septic system requiring local upgrades and variances.
Thank you. Greg Morse, again, representing the property owner near Drury. This number 76 Glades Road is the post office building down in Minot. It has post office, 500 square feet of office on the first floor, and it has apartments above that for a total of 4 bedrooms in the building. This site would be extremely difficult to do a septic system repair on. The lot itself is 1,900 square feet, and the building takes up almost the entire lot. However, because of the significant construction happening at 74, 74B, and 74C, it's opened up an opportunity to site a new septic system for number 76 on the 74 Glades Road property. Otherwise, the 76 Glades, likely would be facing a tight tank in the future. So with 76, we're not proposing any increase in flow, but it is located on the 74 Glades property. So I apologize, I didn't call the Board of Health office today to go over this in a little bit more detail, but if this was approved by the Board of Health, I would expect 2 conditions of the approval. One would be that there would be an easement agreement between the properties that would have to be recorded because the system is physically on the abutting property, which is owned by the applicant. And secondly, that an operation and maintenance plan be submitted on the operation of this septic system, again, where it's on the abutting property, which is owned by the applicant. But I turn it over to you for questions or comments.
So, Greg, does the same person own both pieces of property?
Yes, he does. He owns both
Okay.
pieces.
That's because to do the easement, you need permission from both, right?
He's going to give himself permission. Yes.
Okay.
So we would provide you the legal documents to that, prior to construction.
Okay.
I think
Karen, do you want to read?
I will, yep. I'll make a motion to approve the septic design system for 76 Glades Road with the easement access for the septic system serving 74B Glades Road. And this is pending a few things. So the first was provide that legal easement. And Greg, as you mentioned, makes sense, I think, to provide the maintenance plan for it. But also, I believe we're still waiting for Conservation Commission approval. So pending that as well.
Yes.
Allison, how do you vote?
Oh, muted.
She's too busy being on the beach.
It's not,
Oh,
You're
Lost it.
muted again.
sorry
you go.
about that.
There you go.
It's not my computer, so I apologize for that. I should have.
You have my sympathies. I'm awful with them.
So I approve that.
Okay.
Thank you.
And Doug, I approve. So that's fine with 76 Glades Road. We're all set with that one. And now discuss and vote 72 Glades Road, Morse Engineering representing home request for installation of a septic system requires local upgrades and variances.
Excellent. Again, for the record, Gregory Morse representing the Chakras. This is a different property owner at property at 72 Glades Road. 72 Glades Road, as again, is one of the houses that was destroyed by fire. It was a 3-bedroom house when it was destroyed. We're proposing to construct a new 3-bedroom house in its location. This has been to conservation. This has been to the zoning board and received approvals. The septic system that serviced this property previously wasn't on the subject property. It was on the neighbor's property without any sort of legal easement or legal document allowing it to be that way. Not uncommon down on Glades Road with some of these older systems. But with this new design, it remedies that situation. The new system is entirely on the property, but it does require a local upgrade approval. That is a property line setback from 10 feet, which is the requirement, down to 5.2 feet from the soil absorption system to the property line. Turn it over to you.
So Joan, just a couple questions, just looking at the proposal. So conservation has approved it?
I don't know. He's saying they did, but I haven't gotten anything from them. Maybe the orders haven't been written yet, so we usually wait till they're complete. I don't know, Greg, have the orders been written?
I'd have to check on that. I
Yeah.
believe they have.
We usually check with them before we give the septic permit to make sure that they're.
So we can say pending,
Yeah.
receipt of the conservation approval. And then you also had some administrative comments on there. Were there other things that you were concerned about?
No, that's it. I think we're okay with this now. Fine.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Anybody else have questions, or I can make it a motion?
No, I'm all set.
No.
Okay, so I'll move to approve the septic repair plan for 72 Glades Road with the following upgrades. Reduction from the required 10 feet from the property line to the leaching field to 5.2 feet, and then pending receipt of confirmation of Conservation Commission approval.
I approve.
Okay, Allison.
I approve.
Okay, and Doug's approval, so that's fine with those. I believe that's it, Greg.
That's it for me tonight. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, have a great night.
Bye.
Thanks,
you.
Greg. All right, next on the agenda is to discuss and vote 0 Pickford Ave, owner requesting a variance to the Scituate private well regulations, and I'm not sure who's on.
Okay, so the
for-
next three are from Toll Brothers, Seaside, Scituate. They had permits for a number of wells.
Yeah.
They put, I believe, 4 in, and these 3 they need variances for, because they don't meet the Scituate private well regulation. So I think we have Jeff DeLisi on this Zoom call that you can let in, and Dave Buckley. I don't know who else is on here, but maybe Jeff and Dave can let us know if any of the other are on there. They just have to unmute. You have to unmute them. Jeff and
Is Seth on?
There we go.
There you go.
Yep.
I suppose I don't need a video, but I have no reason for you to look at me. But thank you. I'm glad I'm here. Dave Buckley and Joel Freisch also would be part of our group. Joel is our hydrogeologist of Northeast Geoscience.
Jeff, can you just state your name for the record?
Sure.
Great, thanks.
Absolutely. Attorney Jeff DeLisi of Warrenberger, DeLisi, and Harris here in Scituate.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, Joan teed it up pretty well, but I'll just briefly go over this As Joan indicated, the Board of Health previously issued well drilling permits to allow for these 3 irrigation wells to be drilled on the parcel owned by Toll Brothers, which is located between Hatherley and Tilden Roads. Section 8.1 of your private well regulations require that all wells, regardless of their intended use, must meet potability standards. Section 8.13 basically indicates that absent a variance, a private irrigation well cannot be used if the contaminant values that are set forth in the appendix and Mass DEP are not met. So the lab results for these 3 wells indicate slightly higher values for iron in well B and for sodium in wells B, 3, and 4. As far as iron and sodium are concerned, iron itself is not a health-related contaminant. It's essentially what we call a secondary maximum contaminant, which is related to aesthetics such as taste and odor, and to cosmetics such as discoloration of teeth. As far as sodium is concerned, the sodium value is really dietary in nature. It's meant to inform the public of who are concerned with low sodium diets of the amounts of sodium in the water, but it's not health related. So in the case of sodium for all three wells, the values were higher than the required 20 milligrams per liter, but they were within the lowest range or less than the EPA guidelines, which are 30 milligrams per liter to 60 milligrams per liter. And as far as the sodium values are concerned in all 3 wells, they were also lower than the reported levels of sodium in the town's drinking water supply. So just to give you a sense there, which I do think is relevant. As far as the variance criteria is concerned, Section 12 sets forth the variance criteria, and essentially you must be able to demonstrate that an equivalent degree of protection will still be provided to the private water supply without strict application of the requirements. So in this case, for these 3 irrigation wells, not potable, which are slightly elevated in iron and sodium, as I indicated above, there would be 0 consequences to the public safety and the water supply. And so we think it would be manifestly unjust to deny the use of these irrigation wells when their water, which is not potable, is more compliant with the standards than the town's drinking water supply. So if you have any questions specifically about anything that I just indicated, Joel certainly would be able to provide additional responses. Thank you.
I think I'm pretty fine.
Doug,
I don't know.
Doug,
We have a
before you turn it over to the board, we just have a gentleman, Mike Kinahan, has his hand up. I'm just gonna unmute him and see if
Okay.
so he can ask
Yep.
his question. Can you hear us, Mike?
I can. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yep, go
Yep.
right ahead, sir. Just
Great.
state your name and address, please.
My name is Michael Kinahan. I live at 287 Tilden Road. I guess technically I'm considered an abutter. I got a notice from Orenberger, DeLisi, and Harris LLP about the meeting. So that's the reason I'm here tonight. And thank you for your time and your service to the community. I understand the issue and what Toll Brothers is requesting, but I'll just share a quick story. When the weather was very cold, I noticed a lot of people pond skating down on the 2 retention ponds on Toll Brothers property. I noticed a lot of families out there skating, having fun. I thought, gee, that was great. I was driving back through town a little later, and everybody was gone. I thought that was interesting. And my understanding is that Toll Brothers, or their representatives, kicked everybody off of the 2 retention ponds where people were skating. I think we have a very short pond skating season here, And to me, I think it's a little ironic that Toll Brothers is asking for variance to, and looking for the town to give them a little bit of special treatment. Yet they don't seem to be good neighbors to the people in the community who just wanted to pond skate for, the 1 or 2 days that the opportunity presents itself. So I don't think Toll Brothers has been a very good partner for the town, frankly. And so therefore I would just object to giving them really any variances for anything, frankly. So that's my personal view, and you can do with it as you wish.
Okay, thank you so much, Mike.
Is there anyone else that has anything to add? And I don't know if anyone from Toll Brothers wants to.
So to make just to clarify on that matter, not that it matters much. It was the board of trustees, the condominium board of trustees, and who notified the authorities of the individuals on the pond, and it was purely for liability reasons. Just so the board is aware of that situation.
Anybody else
Okay.
in the audience have any comments they'd like to raise their hand?
Okay, Mike.
Go ahead, Mike.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
Not to belabor a point, but again, if you want to go strictly on the legalese, you're unwilling to bend the legal rules for a bunch of little kids pond skating, but you want us to bend the the health and safety rules here for your benefit. So again, I just find the hypocrisy entertaining, to say the least.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Seeing no one else, I would say the public comment portion is closed. So you, Board of Health, any other questions?
Any Karen or Allison?
No.
Oh,
Okay. Karen, if you want to make a motion.
all right. So we'll do the first one, which
I do want to make, Karen, before you go.
Yep, go ahead.
Take, so at, just to clarify, at zero Pickford, it was sodium and iron. For well 3 at 28 Thelma Way, it's for sodium only. Their iron was fine. And for 8 Thelma Way, which was well B, it's sodium and iron. So we just want to clarify that because I think it might have been a little bit different than what Jeff said, but I looked at all the reports and this is what I have. Everything else was fine on all the reports.
And we have to do both. I mean, 0 Pickford, 8 Thema, and
Yeah,
28.
each one separately.
They're all
Right.
separate. They're all separate wells.
Okay, so Karen, as long as you've got the right
I got them up. Yep. Okay, so
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the variance for the first one, which is well B 8 Thelma Way. And so that's granting the requested variance from water quality treatments of the town of Scituate private well regulation for sodium and iron only. The variance may be revoked and suspended in accordance with the regulation if conditions change.
Okay, Allison.
I second that. I approve.
Okay, and I approve also. All
Okay.
right.
The next one, I'll make a motion to approve the well variation for well 3 28 Thelma Way. Is that the one is that the right one?
Or-
Yeah.
Well, there's 8 and 28.
Yeah, okay. So we just did, let me just get this here.
We did
Yeah,
0
okay.
Pickford.
Pickford.
Okay, so this is for 0 Pickford Ave. This is well 4. So
That
move to.
one we just voted. But you're doing either 8.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Sorry.
Sorry about that. I have too many tabs open here. Okay. Let's do 28 Thelma Way, well 3. So I'm going to grant the requested variance for the water quality requirements of the town of Scituate private well regulation for sodium only for well 3, 28 Thelma Way. The variance may be revoked or suspended in accordance with the regulation if conditions change.
I second
Allison?
that. I second that. I approve.
Okay. And Doug approves. So that was for 28 Thelma.
And
So
now
now
we're
it
going
would
to do eight.
Eight.
8 Thelma. Way. I'm going to move to grant a request of variance from the water quality requirements of the town of Scituate private well regulation for sodium and iron for 8 Thelma Way. The variance may be revoked or suspended in accordance with the regulation if conditions change.
okay, Allison,
I second that. I approve.
and I third it and approve, and I think that's about it.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Old business,
No old business.
new business.
No new business, although we are interviewing one applicant for the Board of Health, Doug. So they haven't scheduled a hearing yet, but with the Board of Select persons, but that is on the horizon after you so kindly gave your notice and came back and everything else. So we do have that. I do have one invoice before I do my director's report that needs to be approved. It is a perk test for $280. If I could get a motion to approve that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll move to approve the invoice.
And how do you vote, Allison?
I approve.
And I approve. So that's all set. Is there a Board of Health meeting minutes?
I
No,
know
we don't have
any
those.
this week.
Okay, all right. So we're just waiting on the director's report.
So we have 11 sets of plans under 45-day review, 4 sets of plans under engineering review, 5 sets of plans under Concom revision. We have 15 as-built in the queue, and we have 23 systems under failure right now. On the meeting tonight with all of the wells and the Glades Road, you know, Joan did an awful lot of work on both of those projects. So I just want to make sure I tip my hat to her. She really did a great job doing. Glades was a it was time consuming. So
Yeah, they were tough ones.
I just want to thank her and make sure she knows how much I appreciate that. We did submit our annual report. It has been turned in on time. I was not first. Kathy from the clerk's office was first, and she let me know it. We are gearing up for the summer. We've had some of our trucks coming in, getting their yearly licenses in. We'll be starting our, Joan and I were talking, we'll have daylight saving starts March 10th, and we're right around the corner from all of our summer events. So other than that, we don't really have anything else to report. I
Okay.
am speaking at the men's breakfast April 2nd, I think, on a Monday at 9:00. If you want to come down, Doug.
Yeah, and we are trying to do a tick and a
Oh,
flea
yes.
demonstration for the residents. It's either going to be at the library or the senior center. So we're just trying to set that up with our
Got the firm date yet.
yeah.
And we're doing the choke class too.
Correct. Show class will be
Yes.
May 4th.
You've
So
already
far
sent
we
out
have
an
about
email.
55. Yeah, we have about 55 restaurants that have signed up so far. 55 people, so that's good. Thanks to Captain Donovan, who's going to be doing it as always. He's great, and to the Scituate Harbor Yacht Club for hosting it, volunteering their space. So it's really great that we have somebody to do that for the restaurants.
That's a lot of people. That's great.
So needed. Yeah, it's great. Well, he did a big one 2 years ago, so that they're only good for 2 years. So everybody has to renew every 2 years. It's a good
Okay.
refresher class.
Great.
Okay. I think that's about it. I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting for the Scituate Board of Health for Monday, February 26th, 2024. Do I have a
I'll
second?
Yep.
And
second.
Allison?
Yes, I approve.
All right. Hey, Drew, just so to note on the, I know just looking at a calendar, the next meeting would be March 11th and then the 25th.
Yep.
On the 25th, I will be in Ireland, so I won't be
Okay.
around.
All right.
So,
We'll see. Maybe the new person will be ready by then.
all right.
All right.
But that's
I-
it.
We'll
All
make
right.
a note.
Everyone have a great night and thank
Good
you.
night, everyone.